We got Winnipeg Blue Bomber talk, CFL talk, NFL talk, hot topics, and more. But let's start off with the Winnipeg Jets, who just came off of a great win by San Jose, finishing a 5-game home stretch. The Jets week that was. Let's start off with our favorite. The Jets week that was.
You know what? It started off. I got two terms almost. Like it started off with a disaster against Calgary, and then glowing performance against Nashville. You know, it was a little bit different, and then obviously a good one tonight. But to me, if you talked to me after that Calgary game, I would have told you, "Hey, it's over. Pack it up. The Jets are done."
Oh, so, really? Really?
Man,
that was the mood after that one.
Oh, that's what it totally was, especially after that weekend. The weekend that was where they blew out Detroit and New Jersey, and then you follow up that performance against Calgary, who was on a back-to-back, and your third period was terrible. So, yeah, that's mine. But
I got you. The Jets week that was for me was nerve-wracking. There was so much weight put on that Calgary game. I was just sitting, my fingernails were being dug into my palms, and of course, just to lose that badly. To just get beaten 3 goals in a row, all the steam was out. I thought, hey, they started off great, but then Markstrom was just a wall after that. Props to him, and Calgary wanted it that game,
which was
so played.
Which was funny because Markstrom hasn't been great over the last stretch for Calgary, right? And then he comes in to play Winnipeg, and it's like he's lights out, making all kinds of saves, turned around and making saves, and it's just like, what the heck, man? Like tonight. So the
Jets did play good that game. Don't get me wrong. Like even
besides the third, they weren't good until they were down like 13-5 in shots.
Yeah, no doubt, eh?
And then they woke up. But
like you said, the week before, they were getting the breaks that they weren't getting during that whole dry streak. And this game, even according to Bonus, his quote, even at the end, Adam hits the post. Nick has a breakaway. They went in the last couple games. They didn't go in tonight. So that was kind of the Calgary game. They did play well, but Markstrom played well, and they just didn't get those bounces that you talked about the week before.
Yeah, it reverted back to that other one, like the games before the New Jersey Detroit game, right?
Yeah,
and you're like sitting there going watching. Okay, this is a bad omen to start the week, especially when you got big games. Like it didn't. You know what? As much as we'd like that Calgary lost to Chicago, it almost didn't help, right? Because then we're thinking, okay, we win this game, we've got it clinched, it's over. Calgary just lost last night to one of the worst teams in the league. We should be able to win, no problem, right? And then Calgary comes out and they play a lot harder. That probably helped them that they lost that game.
Oh, they were angry
because they needed it. They knew they couldn't lose that to the Jets, right?
Yeah. And
they started off slow, but they looked like the team that wasn't on the back-to-back, where the Jets looked like that they were on that in that third period. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but they turned it around. So
and they look good against the Preds. Like is that. The Preds that were going on that run at the end of the season after the trade deadline, everyone, put them in for dead, whatever. And then they just look good riding on Soros. And that was a good goalie duel. Soros had a great game. Hellebuck had not a great game. They both had solid games. I just thought that something might happen. Either, a fluky goal, a dirty goal, or a power play in Nashville, and they turned the game around. So I was watching that game till the end.
Well, it's tough. Even tonight when you're watching, the Jets 20 seconds in and they give up a goal, and you're sitting there going, "Oh, is this what we're in for?" And you're thinking back to last time they played James Reimer, who had the 41 save shutout, and you're thinking, okay, it's not going to go well. But you know what? They turned it around right away. They got a power play, they scored, and it's like they took over the game from there. Yeah. They were dominant. Even that first, I think they had over 30 shot attempts in that first period, only about half on net. But, they're buzzing. And Adam Lowry, to me, has probably been one of the best Jets over the course of the last month, probably, or a few weeks. And even
third line's coming together.
Oh, yeah. I love that third line, actually. Yeah. They found some good pieces there.
Yeah.
And it's a tough, big line with Lowry and Niederreiter. And then you got Apple doing a little bit smaller guy.
But he
weight-wise, but he's in there, right? And he's just so.
And they look great. Like, even they didn't get as many points as they did tonight against the Sharks. They look great against the Predators. They're part of the reason why they're just smothering the Predators in Nashville's zone, like all of the pretty much second half of the game.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. I will give them a shout out later. There's my shout out. I already gave it out. Never mind. I'll give it to them twice. So let's keep talking about this Sharks game. A good game, 6-2 result. Shaky start by Winnipeg. Like you said, quick goal, but a quick response. My concern last week is, are these the lineups? And they might be, but what happens when they face adversity? Didn't look good against Calgary, but the adversity, they scored quick right away against the Sharks every time they scored.
Yeah, and it was a power play that got them going, right?
Yeah.
San Jose scored right away, and then the Jets got a power play, and they connected Ehlers to Scheifele to Dubois, and it's like, okay, right on. And the power play ended up 2 for 2 tonight. So that's a, the way that's been for the Jets on the power play, that's a great sign to see that happen tonight.
Absolutely.
And they outplayed San Jose, and they should have outplayed San Jose. But watching them play San Jose the last couple of times, the late goal in the one game that they ended up losing, the 41 save shutout, you're thinking, they just struggle for some reason against one of the worst teams in the league. But they took over.
Especially when San Jose scored at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no. They're like, is this a team that went like 8 games in a row where they let the team score first and they lost all of those games? But no, they came back and man, they look good.
And it was such a signature goal against for the Jets. It's a 3-on-3 rush. Where I think the one San Jose guy almost picked Neil Pionk, I think it was, on the play and took him out, just grabbed him. But they got turned around where Niederreiter chased one guy and left the other guy open, and the other defenseman, I can't remember who, was just nowhere to be found in the whole play. And it left Carlson open. You don't want to leave Carlson of all guys open right in front of the net. So
they weave through the middle in that play. It looked like the Harlem Globetrotters on that one. The Jets were looking around that little sweet, but they did come back with a nice goal by Dubois. And that was also created like the power play with Ehlers and moving that puck around and creating space for other guys by holding that puck. He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
He'll give you a strong 20 seconds. And that's part of the reason why his minutes are low. He doesn't play long shifts, but he'll give you a strong 20 seconds. That's
because he's usually wheeling and he's speeding down the ice, right?
Yeah,
he's not just gliding around half the time. So
it is a great effort.
And then even the second goal, hard work by Niederreiter around the net. And Reimer, I don't know what Reimer was doing on that one. Tried to grab Niederreiter, but and then Lowry outmuscled this guy to get this stick on the puck. So good effort all around. It was good to see. That they followed that Calgary game up with 2 good games against Nashville and San Jose. Yeah. And right now they're sitting pretty for a playoff spot.
Like, I can't remember, it's about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and I can't remember this coach's name, but Lowry went back to his old face-off coach or something like that and got some mojo, and he started winning those face-offs, and he won a crucial face-off in a game where it led to a tie goal later in the game, but any which way, where he won the face-off and then he moved to the front. He
scored the goal too, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah, he won the face-off, dirty face-off. He was on the ground, got up, went in front of the net. And ever since then, he's just been a presence in front of that net. And that third line has really picked up their game. And he's been the motor or the catalyst or whatever you want to call it for that third line.
Yeah, I feel like that was against Nashville, actually.
I was about to ask. Yes, I was about to say, was that Nashville? Totally.
I think so too, actually. Yeah, I believe it was. So yeah, and that's a good point, man. And he's turned it around. He had that midseason lull where he didn't score for 30-something games.
It was frustrating because he started off so well too.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. And then it's perfect. If they can clinch a playoff spot, you need a line like that that's going to be a heavy bodied and wear down the other team's top line. Because let's face it, they're not going to have an easy first round matchup, at all here. It's either Vegas, Edmonton, could be Colorado kind of thing. So
yeah.
Well, first we got to clinch though.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about the upcoming week in the playoff picture. But just one last thing, glowingly about the Jets again. They had like double the puck possession, and in the second period, going into the third. It was crazy, and I think that's a key for them for winning moving forward. They have to win the puck possession battle, and they just have to control their own zone. And other than that, when they're pushing in the other person's zone and rolling that puck and cycling the puck, they look really good.
Yeah, they need those top guys. And this was a problem too with the Calgary game. You go back to that, is Kyle Connor, he didn't want to get physical in that game at all. He was just one-handing his stick in to try and get the puck. Any body contact, he was kind of backing off. So that was a frustration with watching that game. And you thought they reverted back to their old ways and they weren't going to get out of that. It was good to see them get out of that against Nashville, but they need that top line. They need that top line to throw the body around. They need Connor to get physical. And just play well together, and they have for the most part. So hopefully that carries on. They need one more point in their next 2 games. Overtime loss even, but even so, you hope they can win these next 2 and go in on a high note.
So let's talk about these next 2. They got Minnesota and Colorado, divisional games, 2 tough teams, a back-to-back. Winnipeg traveling, not far, a little bit of a road trip, and they get to go on a plane for it. Minnesota, I think they won 6 out of the last 10. it should be a good battle, I think.
Yeah.
When they can win, but Minnesota also wants to go into the playoffs hot, obviously.
Yeah, and that's tomorrow already, right?
Yeah, back to back.
So yeah, and Minnesota's playing tonight against Chicago, so it's not like Winnipeg gets a free ride there.
Exactly.
The one thing is, if Minnesota lose tonight, I don't think they have a chance to move anywhere else in the standings.
No.
So, not much to play for really for them if they end up losing tonight.
Are they 9 points up on the Jets or so? Well, 7.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets can't catch them. 7 right now, as of right now. But they're 4 back at Dallas. I don't know if Dallas's win is in the standings here yet. 4 back of Colorado. Colorado still has 3 games, so they'll be in tough. I mean, they still got stuff to play for if they lose tonight, but yeah, it'll be a big game. And they're 0-3 against Minnesota this year.
Exactly.
6-1, 4-1, 4-2. So
you don't want to go over.
No,
especially going to the playoffs. You don't need one of those games. So
no,
they gotta take a point. If they take a point from Minnesota, that'd be great.
Yeah, because then you're done, and then you can maybe even give Hellebuck a rest against Colorado, right?
That would be the great scenario.
The guy's played so much over the last few weeks, so it'd be nice if you can give him a rest into that Colorado game, and then they probably don't start playoffs until Monday next week or something like that. So
yeah, that's so important, this Minnesota game, because I don't want to be messing around with Colorado. They're like, they won how many in a row? 6, 5 in a row?
Yeah, they're
their last 10.
5, 8 and 2 in their last 10.
Get out of here.
But the funny thing is the Jets have actually done better against Colorado than Minnesota. So
I don't want to bank on that. I don't want to bank on that. I'm sorry. I don't want to bank on that. I want the Jets to have clinched. Colorado just they do have a lot of stars on their team, but they've been gutsy this year. I want to make sure. Hey, this is my Jets jersey. It's not a Colorado jersey, just to make sure. But they've had injuries, and McCarr I think is injured. He might be injured.
McCarr's still out. I
think so.
Landeskau is still out, I believe, too. So
holy cow!
And they're still battling for first in the conference, right? They could still get it. They need some stuff to go their way, but they still have a chance. So they're not gonna roll over, and they're still playing for first, at least in the division. So.
Yeah, before we move on to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, can I throw a little bit of shade at the Jets?
Yeah.
Can I throw a little bit of shade? The only thing I'm concerned about this week is it's so weird watching them bring the puck into the offensive zone. They are so awkward.
Oh, yeah.
And this is no knock on any youth hockey players. I watched some great playoff action recently, and the Jets look like some of these youth hockey players bringing the puck in. There's no game plan. It's a relief when they dump it in. I'm like, oh, at least they have a chance. But if it's not Ehlers bringing the puck in, it's a little messy. So that's still a concern of mine.
Oh yeah, they don't have a very good carry the puck over the blue line team. Even on the power play, sometimes it's like you're holding your breath.
What's the plan here?
Yeah, no.
Anytime that puck gets around center ice, it's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
For the most part, it's getting dumped in.
Yeah. Are they playing shinny right now? What is going on?
They still definitely have some work to do, for sure.
Yes, exactly. So I just want to throw a little bit of shade. As much we've just heard a lot of love, gotta show a little bit of shade.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.